today we are back with some CreepyPasta reactions. CreepyPasta Jr., we did one video of reacting to one of his videos, and I want to do it again because I really like that, and I'm thinking about making this an official series on my YouTube channel. This is one that I've never seen before, I think. There is something wrong with the Scarecrow. I don't think I've ever seen this one before, it does not sound familiar, but without further ado, let's begin. Whoa. That's creepy. Now let's go full screen. Go full screen.
A few months ago, I moved to a town in the southern parts of the United States.
Cool.
I wanted to move to this town since it was much closer to my job.
Let's wait till it gets brighter.
I work in a distribution warehouse that lies between the nearby major...
Okay. I love that. I love that. I would love to live in that house. Love it. Big open fields, cornfields. I love it. Scarecrow, I think I can see a scarecrow there. That might be a scarecrow, actually. Big, beautiful woods. Pure blue sky, just about. Like I said, open fields. Can run around in there. If you invite friends over, any special occasion for the holidays with your family, bring them out into the cornfield. You can pull a couple scare pranks on them. It'll be fun. I would love to live out there. Just in the open, in that small little nice wood house. I would love that. Or whatever house that is.
City and the town itself. My choices for residence was either an apartment in the city, which wasn't something I'd enjoy, or search for a place in this rural town. While I was looking for houses for sale, my selection was quite limited. Not many people here were looking to sell their houses. That being said, there were two houses that were up for grabs. One was close to the center of the town itself, though when I did my walkthrough of it, I was, well, let's just say not impressed.
Good choice.
The other house was much more appealing, though the location wasn't the best.
No, the location is the best, in my opinion. Would it be scary living out alone in the middle of nowhere like that? Yes, because what if something goes medically wrong? What if you're living alone and something goes medically wrong? But still, I would love to live there. Whether that be with someone or alone, I would love to live there. Just hope that nothing medically wrong happens or some psychopath doesn't decide to break in your house and slaughter you in your sleep. But other than that, I would love it.
Right up against one of the many farms that dotted the area, thus making it seem very isolated. The rows of nearby corn created a sort of natural wall around the property. This was the first thing I noticed about the house.
It's the children of the corn. I just realized that.
I never really
it's this video. This video is not about a scarecrow, it's about children of the corn. Just kidding.
Living out in the sticks, but tried to look on the bright side. The peace and quiet would be a big plus, as well as not having to worry about anyone bothering me. I met up with the realtor, and after an hour or so of looking at the house, I took it. I filled out all the necessary paperwork, and by the end of the month, I had completely moved in.
Good choice.
The house itself wasn't very large.
I'll take it.
It was a basic single-story, 3-bedroom house. That being said, it was more than enough for me.
From the looks of it, it's more than one story, but I'll take it.
Although the exterior at a glance seemed somewhat weathered, the interior was fully remodeled.
There's something in the tunnel.
Selling point for me.
I may have to watch that one next. It sounds like a good one. Next video, I mean, that I make about this guy. There's something in the tunnel. I might have to watch that. Sounds kind of good.
I quickly got settled in, and before I knew it, the house I bought started to feel like a home. Days seemed to meld into weeks seamlessly. I had gotten myself into a routine which aided in the time progressing faster. Before I knew it, the summer months seemed like a distant memory, as the fall weather showed up in force.
I would love to be in that house, that location,
was still on the northern end of the
when
state,
it's snowing.
Which resulted in cooler weather and fallen leaves.
I would
During
love
autumn,
it.
I often thought back to my time as a child, running around in various costumes trick-or-treating, and shoveling mountains of candy into my mouth. The 1st of October had arrived, and I was on my way home from work when I spotted something odd regarding my neighbor's farm. It seemed like the owner was having some sort of bird problem, as a newly erected scarecrow loomed partially above the corn. I could just vaguely make out the outline of a body suspended in the air as my headlights passed over it.
Imagine if it was a real
Looking out of
body.
my passenger window,
That's
I
like
could
the
still
twist
see the
of
dark
the
outline
video.
of the scarecrow
His
in the
neighbor's a
distance.
serial killer.
For a split second, it looked like it had moved slightly. When I focused my eyes again, however, it seemed utterly stationary.
That's
I
scary.
rubbed my eyes, thinking that work had simply taken its toll on me. I arrived home not long after and called it a night. The next morning, when I was walking to my car to head to work, I looked out towards the cornfield. I could see the scarecrow much clearer despite the overcast sky above.
And it's staring at
It
you
was
and
quite a distance
smiling.
from my house, and I could still only see its upper torso through the corn. What I could see of it, it seemed quite ratty, like someone had taken decades-old clothing and haphazardly sewn it together. Straw protruded from its neck and wrists, giving its silhouette a jagged appearance. I couldn't make out exactly what its face looked like, but I had no time to look further as I had to leave for work.
Can't be late.
A week had passed without issue, and each day I'd head out to my car, I'd spot that scarecrow silently doing its job. Even though the scarecrow had been out there for a few days, I thought back to earlier, and I hadn't noticed any birds around the crops themselves.
The
It seemed like
scarecrow
the
ate
scarecrow
the
wasn't
birds.
necessary,
There was
or
no
perhaps
birds.
it was just
All
really
birds
good
are
at scaring the
extinct in that
birds away.
area.
Another consideration that crossed my mind was Halloween decoration, though I doubt many children would come all the way out here to trick-or-treat.
I would.
About a week and a half ago, I noticed something strange about that scarecrow. I had the day off from work, so I spent that time doing chores and generally cleaning up my house. When I took the trash outside, I saw that the scarecrow had gotten significantly closer to my house. It was so noticeable that it took me by surprise when I saw it. It was nearly on the edge of the farm now. I wondered if my neighbor had moved it for some reason.
It's
I wandered over the edge of
alive.
the cornfield and scratched my chin as I stared up at it. I could see the face much better at this distance. It was a brown
Okay, now-
burlap sack with
Now that's scary. Imagine. Okay, so this guy, all he does in his videos with editing is he has like a creepy image or like a cool image in his videos as he talks. Imagine he pulled like a joke on us, like he has an image of a scarecrow, right, like this, or like a replaying clip of this, whatever it is, just a scarecrow in a field. It just replays until he switches over to the next clip or whatever, or image. And like during this clip, the scarecrow jumped at us and scared us in the middle of him talking. That would be good.
roughly stitched X's for eyes. A small slit in the burlap seemed to be its mouth. Overall, it didn't seem like whoever made this thing put their heart and soul into it. I turned to walk away, and just as I did, I heard a crackling of twigs behind me.
Okay.
I stopped and turned back,
I'm leaving.
but the scarecrow was just as motionless as ever. I kept a constant watch on it as I made my way back towards my house. 5 days ago, I was on my way home after a late shift at work. As I rounded the corner onto my street, I could already see the cornfield growing in the distance. The entire field seemed to sway like numerous arms waving in the wind outside. While I drove, I occasionally cast glances towards the field to see if I could spot the scarecrow. I couldn't. As I pulled into my driveway, I angled my car so its headlights faced the field, and to my surprise, the scarecrow was gone. I quickly scanned the horizon to see if I could spot its outline.
Have you all ever seen the episode of Goosebumps? It's about a scarecrow that it's about a scarecrow that like comes to life, and that may be like basic for like why I'm talking about this, but that episode is good. I forget what it's called. Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, I think it's called. That episode was amazing. Probably one of my top 10 favorite Goosebumps episodes. I gotta rewatch those again. They're good. But yeah.
It had vanished. I thought that perhaps my neighbor had taken it down for some reason. As I stood there looking around, I thought I could see some corn swaying more than the rest.
Scarecrow's
I
there.
disregarded it and went inside. 2 days ago, something unexplainable happened. I had yet another day off from work. This time, I decided
Lucky.
to just enjoy my time off instead of spending the day doing chores. I spent the majority of my morning watching movies and TV shows. Before I knew it, the setting sun outside had changed the sky to a burnt orange. During a break in my media binge, I thought I heard a sound coming from my backyard. I walked over to my back door and peeked out of one of my windows. My eyes grew wide as I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Standing in the clearing that is my backyard
Was the
was
Scarecrow?
that Scarecrow.
Was that Scarecrow?
How it was
Almost got
standing
it.
on its own was beyond me.
Almost.
Its feet were bowed out to the sides, while its knees were slumped together. Its shoulders drooped down to lifeless arms which dangled at its sides. The head was canted to the right like it had no support from its neck.
I'm just waiting for that
I
jump
stared
scare.
at it while the twilight sky succumbed to the night.
I thought he was gonna do a jump
As
scare
soon as
there.
the last rays of light faded, I watched as this thing started to twitch. Its body seemed to jostle and move slightly, like the oncoming night was doing something to it.
This is why those stories, like, creep me out sometimes. Like, whenever I watch one of his videos that's related to ghosts and stuff, or creatures or whatever, I know it's not real, because, first of all, creatures and humanoid beings, they're most likely not real. Ghosts are definitely not real. But the way this guy talks and the way his stories are set, the images he uses make you think that you're in the story and that you're going to experience, like you're experiencing it. It's good. That's why I like this guy a lot. Now, the reason why I said, like, most likely humanoid creatures don't exist is because they can exist or they already exist and we just don't know it. Science experiments gone wrong, you know, that kind of thing. Mutations of like creatures or whatever, like animals, whatever. That's why humanoid creatures can maybe exist already or can exist in the future. They probably exist right now, but ghosts definitely do not exist. But long story short, this guy's videos, they're real good.
I turned away from the window for a moment to make sure my back door was locked. When I glanced back through the window once more, it wasn't there. I scanned my entire backyard. Well, as much as I could with the little light outside anyway.
It's a ghost Scarecrow.
Was no longer there.
It's a ghost Scarecrow.
I tried to rationalize that my mind was playing tricks on me. That ever since I saw that Scarecrow, it's been subconsciously stuck in my head. I walked through my house, double-checking to make sure all my doors and windows were tightly fastened. I could feel my body slowly starting to become more sluggish, and decided it was time for bed. Nearly 3 hours after I had fallen asleep, however, I was awoken to a noise coming from my kitchen. It sounded like something had gotten knocked off my counter. I sat up in a daze and tiredly rubbed my eyes. I absent-mindedly got out of bed and walked out into my living room.
Don't do it.
My legs stiffened as I saw the silhouette of a person standing in my kitchen.
Stay hidden.
Once my eyes adjusted to the
Stay hidden.
lifelessness of my house, I could see the bits of hay sticking out of its neck and torso. The Scarecrow had somehow gotten into my house. I could feel my hands becoming clammy and my throat tighten as I stared at it. It took a shuffling step towards me. The crunch of hay under its weight made my skin crawl. As it approached, its mouth began to open. The small line that had been cut into the burlap seemed to extend. Inside was a swirling mass of worms and maggots that seemed to crawl out onto its face.
Again, ew.
Through the insects, I could see what vaguely resembled teeth, though they were completely black and spaced apart. They kind of looked like shark's teeth to me. It raised its limp arms towards me and continued its advance. My legs seemed to slowly inch backwards without my command. I wasn't sure what to do. I had never been put in a situation like this before.
Shoot it.
Its gloved hands rested upon my shoulders and it brought its open maw right to my face. Some of the worms and maggots spilled out onto my face and chest. Feeling them crawling on me sent a jolt to my body and I brought my arms up to shove this thing away. When I did, It snapped its teeth at me like a metal bear trap. I braced my legs and pushed hard, which broke me free from its grasp. I turned away from it and ran for my front door, making sure to grab my keys and wallet from the coffee table nearby.
Better get away, dude.
As I ran, I swatted at the bugs crawling on me until I could no longer feel them. I made it safely to my car, and when I started it, my headlights turned on. In the open doorway of my home, I could see that Scarecrow still standing there. I backed out of there and drove all the way into town. I found a hotel to stay at for the time being, and I've been here ever since. Yesterday, I drove back to the house during the day to investigate. There was absolutely no sign of the Scarecrow anywhere, nor were there any worms on the floor of my kitchen. What was more odd was when I inspected the back door. I found it to still be locked. Everything in my house was still locked aside from my front door, which I had used to escape. I have no idea how that thing managed to get inside my house in the first place. I drove over to my neighbor's house shortly after, and an
Pretty
older
scary.
man answered the door. I inquired about his Scarecrow that he had put up in his field, though he only returned a confused glance when I asked about it.
He's gonna say, what
He
Scarecrow?
said that he hadn't put up any Scarecrow in his field whatsoever.
Yeah.
Confused, I simply apologized for bothering him and left. I'm not sure where that Scarecrow came from or why it targeted me in the first place.
Why didn't
But
it
if any of
target
you
the
out there
neighbor?
see a random Scarecrow in a field, leave it alone and get as far away from it as possible
Yeah.
before you wake up one night and find it standing directly over your bed.
Heck no. Heck no, that ending, man. That ending. That's what I'm talking about. These videos, man, they make you think that you're in them, that you're experiencing them. I'm not going to mess with any Scarecrow, don't worry, guys. I'll be okay. But the next video I'm probably gonna react to from this guy, probably that tunnel one. There's something in the tunnel. That sounds good. I like that one. That sounds good. But anyways, that's it for today. That's today's video. Tomorrow's video will be something else. You'll like it. It involves a Darman knockoff, a Darman clone, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, comment, like, and subscribe. I love you guys. See you in the next one. Peace.